Hello and welcome to another episode of Live Feed with your host, Richard Santiago. Live Feed is brought to you by Traveling Tech Teacher for all your digital resources. Check out travelingtechteacher.com. Also brought to you by thebullyexposed.com, a 501c3 nonprofit organization geared at helping survivors of bullying. So let them help you. How to deal with grief is what we're talking about today. We recently had one of our good followers tell us that they're dealing with the loss of a family member. From the three of us who run this channel to your family, you know who you are. We want to wish you, a quick recovery from your grief. Remember the good times. That's the way I always try to deal with my grief, is remembering the good times that you had with this person. And if you ever need to talk about it, just come on the show. And we're always willing to talk about it with you guys. So, how to deal with grief. So I think that the number one thing with dealing with grief is that you really have to really understand what grief is. So, grief can be, guys, the loss of a divorce or a breakup. Okay, that can be grief. Loss of health, loss of a job, financial loss, financial stability can be grief. A miscarriage can be grief. That's something that I had to deal with in my time. Retirement can be grief. According to our list here, I really found that one shocking. The loss of a pet, definitely. The loss of your dreams. The loss of your dreams. You don't think about that, guys, but when I worked with the Postal Service, it was my dream, my dad's dream, for us to get a civil servant job. It's not what I wanted, but I did go for it in my dad's dream. So that dream was lost. So when you're bullied from your job, a job that you love, a job that you work at, that is definitely grief. A loved one's being seriously ill is grief. The loss of a friendship, the loss of safety after a trauma is also a sign of grief. And the selling of a home, that definitely, and that's something I did have to live through as well when I sold my home to move out to where I am now. So it's important to know the stages of grief, right? We have denial. That's this can't be happening to me. No way, that type of situation. Why is this happening to me? Anger, right? Why is this happening to me? Who can I blame? Bargaining. Oh, make this not happen to me, and I'll, a lot of people do that with God. I'll do whatever I can. God, I'll, volunteer my time. Depression. I am too sad to do anything, type of thing. And then acceptance. I'm at peace with the death or what happened. And we all go through this whether we realize it or not. So what are things that we can do when experiencing grief? One of the things that we can do is we can acknowledge that we are feeling pain. A lot of people, they're going through the loss of a family member or loss of in a relationship, their loved one, and the first thing they say is, I'm okay. Don't acknowledge that you are not okay. And at least acknowledge it to yourself. I think that's very important to do. Accept that grief can trigger many different unexpected emotions. That's very important to know too. So you understand that if someone says something to you, you can get upset. And that it will trigger you to anger right away. That's something to remember. understand that your grieving process will be unique to you. Okay, so what worked for someone else may not work for you, but that really doesn't mean that you shouldn't try to at least do what that person is telling you to do. You know, if they're telling you, let's get outside, let's go and do the things that you used to love to do. So you can still try those things. Let's see. Number 4, seek face-to-face support from people you care about, right? I mean, you might come and want to talk to us about it, and that's great. We're here to help you. But maybe seeking one-on-one help also might be very good for you as well. Number 5, support yourself emotionally. And this is a very important one. Support yourself emotionally by taking care of your physical self. A lot of people don't do that. We stop taking showers. Some of us, we stop taking care of our face. We stop taking care of our hair. You know, there's a lot of ways that we don't take care of ourselves physically. And I told you guys in the past that when you take care of yourself physically, that could be a nice shower. That could be a new haircut. It's taking care of yourself. Going and getting some spa treatment like a massage or pedi. You know, pedis are for guys too. And also, it also means eating right. Right? We put up a post the other day that said to remind you guys that you are what you eat. Well, that's where this comes in. You are what you eat. If you're, eating at McDonald's every day, if you're eating at Burger King every day, you're not really taking care of yourself. The chemicals in these foods are not going to do it for you guys. They're not going to help you when you really need to take care of yourself. So when you're going through grief, I think it's important to take time to make fresh food and to eat right. So remember that. Very important one. And number 6, recognize the difference between grief and depression. Okay? So grief is something you temporarily go through, in my opinion. Depression is something that lasts longer. So make your peace with the death or the loss or whatever you're dealing with. That's very important. Cry if you have to. And, there's a lot of guys out there that think that they can't cry, and I'm sure there's women out there that bought into that men can't cry. Men, crying is a sign of weakness. It's not. If you feel comfortable just doing it by yourself, when you're alone, then fine. If you feel comfortable doing it in a group of people, or if that's where it hits you, don't be afraid to do that, guys. You cannot. You can't. You cannot hold that in. I've talked to many women that tell me, well, women are always supposed to smile and be happy. A woman can be angry. And allow women to be angry. Allow men to cry, and you'll see this world will be a better world for all of us. So let me read through those real quickly for you guys. I lost my notes here. Here we go. So number 6, recognize the difference between my notes are just acting. Recognize the difference between grief and depression. Number 5, support yourself emotionally by taking care of yourself physically. Seek out face-to-face support from people who care about you. Understand your grieving process may not be the same as others and may be unique to you. Number 2, accept that grievance can and may trigger different unexpected emotions. And before I get to number 1, I want to remind you guys that Live Feed is brought to you by thebullyexposed.com. We are currently doing a GoFundMe. The link is in our bio. We want to continue being a nonprofit, and we're asking for your help to help us with the fees and in the process of it, So if you can, please donate to that. We do appreciate it. So number one is acknowledge your pain. Okay, understand that you have pain, that this is a person that you've loved and that you miss, and be okay with that, guys. That's the way to do it. So that's going to do it for me on live feed with your host, Richard Santiago. Virginia Coaching, thank you for joining the show. So reminding you guys that live feed is brought to you by Traveling Tech Teacher. For your digital resources, check out travelingtechteacher.com. Also brought to you by thebullyexposed.com. Please check out that bio I told you about. That link in our bio. Help us continue to be a nonprofit. We really do appreciate anything that you can give. Okay, remember guys, anyone can wear the crown. Anyone can be a hero. So be kind to one another and have a great day. Bye now.